Such an amazing morning. Maybe that's the reason somebody once said that there's no better time to be alive than today. But again, it's a bit difficult to relate with that sometimes when you're up against certain kinds of headwinds or challenges. But we're here now, and the show must go on. Thank you, everyone, for making that very important decision to stay with us here on Global Television. I am Wiya Mofwegbe, welcoming you to Global Morning. That lady you get to see just twice every other week. We're back on the show for the first time this new week.
Oh, well.
Priscilla Obasi, it's good to see you.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure to be here.
Right. Thank you for being here. Well, we had been at a different place yesterday in the manner I was speaking, and that was in Cameroon. Not because we were there, physically or on site, but because we had followed the last few weeks the events, political events in particular, in that country. So when the results came in yesterday, there were those who were amazed. Not amazed in terms of the outcome of the presidential poll, but what really shocked them, I think that's the word, not surprised, shocked them, was that Paul Biya again won the election for an 8th term, which some political analysts now call controversial 8th term in office for a man who has been in the saddle since 1982. I mean, you think about people like Paul Biya, you want to reflect on your age, really.
Well, it's not amazing because, I mean, what do you expect? I think the only way to change that narrative is to change the constitution entirely. But as long as that
Cameroon,
as long as that constitution still stands, power intoxicates, as they say. So it's not easy to leave a seat when you can actually still be there.
Why do I feel if you were Mr. Biya, you would act the same exactly?
Well, I mean, that is the African mentality. We don't know we don't know when to rest. We just want to keep grinding and grinding because, I mean, a man of such age should be chilling, should have retired. But then, power, they say, is the driving force. So I am actually disappointed, if you ask me. I wasn't happy to see that result because I think his daughter came out to even say he shouldn't be elected again at some point. So if his own daughter can actually come out to pass such a message, how much, more the citizens of that country. So I mean, it's tiring. They might be in that space where they would want to see, they want to breathe fresh air, and it's not possible. That wouldn't be possible without getting somebody new into the system, and not just new, somebody young enough. So I don't know how Cameroon wants to cope for the next 5 years. Because
do you have friends from Cameroon?
Do I have friends from Cameroon? I think I do. I have a friend from Cameroon. Yeah, I do. Maybe
do you guys going to talk about the leadership in that country, the state of the economy?
I think it just crossed my mind. I just have a friend. I think I would reach out to him to ask.
There's a reason to reconnect now, right?
There's a reason to reconnect because this is really weird. I know it is so. I want to say it is still. It's so still.
Right.
Yeah, it is so still.
My father passed a very long time ago. I mean, very, very long time ago. But I'm asking myself every time I think about a man like President Paul Biya, how old would my father be if he had been alive? And if we had the same circumstances the same exact conditions as we have today in Cameroon, right? And my father was to be the president under the same exact conditions, would I allow him run again? I mean, this is me just reflecting. And then I ask myself, if you were to split Paul Biya's age in two, and you match it or place it side by side my age, which outweighs the other, I look at that. Then I look at, how do we measure Paul Biya's success in terms of the leadership he has brought to Cameroon the last 4+ decades? Or let's even forget about the entire stretch of time. Let's look at the last 20 years, for example, because we can say, okay, well, the man is old now. But what did he do the first 10, 15, 20 years of taking over power in that country? And what is the motivating factor, right? What is the incentive for wanting to come back? Yesterday, a senior colleague and I got talking about this whole issue, and he said, look, let the man just keep contesting. Let's not try to make all this effort as stopping him. Let him just, because as it stands right now, you talked about the Constitution a while ago, Obasi. The man owns the Constitution, let's say, right? So, who's going to change the Constitution? Who's going to do the review? In the meantime, following all of these issues, even before the results were announced, there was already an issue between him and those other persons who ran against him, especially the lead opposition guy, talking about Bakri. So it's a complicated situation we're dealing with. It's not just so much about who won and who lost. It's about who are the casualties of this election, all right? Because as of yesterday, 2 of those opposition guys had already been arrested because they are staunch supporters of the guy who ran against him. So is that how you're going to lead a country like this? You know why this is important? We can all go to bed and drink coffee or red wine and do all of that and say, well, it's Cameroon, it's not our business. After all, we are Nigeria and we have our own issues to deal with back at home. But this is not just an African country. This is a West African country. Yeah. This is a Nigerian neighbor. All right. I have friends from Cameroon. All right. I have friends from Cross River. I have friends from Akwa Ibom. When you talk about Cross River, you talk about Cameroon. At some point, when you look at those border elements, it's almost like there's no difference. Yeah. All right. So it means that we are talking about issues that affect our brothers. And let's also be clear: there's a robust Nigerian community in Cameroon. So whatever happens there by way of policies around the politics, the social life, the economy will rub off on those Nigerians as well. So we have several reasons to want to talk about Cameroon, and use that as a basis to measure how elections are conducted in this, on this continent, how leadership is provided, how we are practicing democracy. Is it correct by any measure to say what is a Cameroon today is democracy, even though President Paul Biya wears suit and tie?
Did you just call it a democracy?
Well, I'm asking. I'm curious.
Just call that, because as far as I'm concerned, that is not democracy. Now you would want to ask who are those that voted for him?
Right.
Did they really vote for him? Was it really a credible election? Those are the questions to ask.
Right.
Yeah. Because if we don't ask all of that, we cannot really. And like you said, he owns the Constitution, but I don't know why he would own the Constitution. I mean, are there not other leaders on the table? Are there not other, political leaders in that country? So why would Paul Biya own the Constitution? It is time for Cameroon to ask. Maybe the youths, maybe the youths need to come out, to ask questions. They need to be answered. You get? I feel like basically because they have been quiet. And that is why all of this, is happening. If we had youth, if there are youth in that country, at this point in time, it's time for them to come out and say, enough is enough.
Well, I totally agree. Enough is enough. There's something that we can never have enough of is motivation. Just yesterday, we came with the debut of our motivational segments on the program, which is anchored by one of our own, Ramsey Enoch Agbo. We're going to bring it out shortly, but we're taking a quick break now. When we return, Priscilla and I will talk a little about some of these issues, but this time we'll domesticate the talking points for you. Please do stay with us. Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
What is your problem? What's your problem? We're on the road to protest.
And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
What is your problem? What's your problem?
We're on the road to protest. And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
What is your problem? What's your problem?
We're on the road to protest. And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
All right, one of the highlights of President Bola Tinubu's day on Monday, the 27th of October 2025, was the meeting, of course, closed-door meeting he held with the new service chiefs led by the Chief of Defense Staff, Olufemi Oluyede, and we understand that this is coming formally for the first time since their appointments were announced following the sacking of the former service chiefs. The presidency had taken out time a few days ago to explain that the reason for these new appointments is to better reposition the defense and intelligence leadership in the country, especially in light of emerging security challenges that the country is grappling with. And Priscilla and I have spent time here on the program, time and again, talking about insecurity in the country and things like that. Recall that when we had former President Muhammadu Buhari, blessed memory, there was also the call one time to say, look, you have to change the service chiefs as part of strategies to ensure that we win the war against insurgency, banditry, and what have you. We have just had a similar change right now. Some people say, well, it's still the same people who had been in leadership in different capacity. The only thing that has changed really is that some have been elevated while others have been shown the way out.
Yeah. Well, I hope this development is, well, I hope he actually does what the president wants it to do, because it was a shock to see that the president sacks the service chiefs and I mean, following the whole coup plot, allegedly, right? So he feels like this is the best solution, and our security agency or our security, right, as a nation right now is at that space, at that place where it is in a sensitive position, right? And a lot of Nigerians will be wondering, is this actually the best security measure to take? Because some Nigerians have come out to cry of, insecurity in some parts of the country, kidnappings, banditry, and all of that. And somehow it looked like, nobody cared. Right. It looked like everybody was silent. And then we see the president come out to say there is a coup plot. And instantly there's a change, in hand. So the question is, I hope everybody's life in this country actually matters, as our president's life matter. Right. That is the big question. I hope we get to see this response. When ordinary Nigerians come out to say, okay, I feel threatened. I feel I'm not safe. I feel like I am not safe. I hope we see this swift response in that, situation, not just when it's, towards, or when it's affecting the president of this country. We are happy with the development. I believe that some Nigerians are happy. Those that have been elected, of course, have family members, have people that are cheering them on. It has, elevated them in one way or the other. But above all, the job needs to be done. And what is the job? The job is to make security tighter on all, on all level, not just on the federal level, but even to the common man out there. Yeah. In the final analysis, what Nigerians want to say really is that Boko Haram is defeated, ISWAP is defeated, bandits are defeated, kidnappers are defeated. I don't know if you've seen a video that's been going around now about a lady who is somewhere in a bush, seated on the ground and begging to be rescued. I saw that.
I have not found the nerve to watch that video again. I just saw a few seconds of it over the weekend, and since then, funny enough, I came across the video this morning just before we got on air. I couldn't watch it because it's so, I don't know, it just breaks you somehow, right? A very sad and dark reminder of similar cases we've seen over the years, and you're asking yourself, at what point will all of these come to an end? All right, it's quite painful, but again, like I said, Nigerians are not as interested in the sophistication that we're putting in place, which is very important, no doubt, as they are eager to want to see that by every key performance indicator, we are winning the war real time against every form of criminality in the country. And when you talk to politics, the new INEC chairman who just got in the saddle a few days ago is reaffirming his earlier position that, look, the era of courts of litigation is over, because according to him, going forward, INEC will be the umpire in the real sense of the word. In other words, if Priscilla was against to win an election, nobody should be afraid that, well, the other person is not going to concede, the matter will end up as in litigation. INEC will be indeed the umpire. Some people say it's too early to make such promises because he has yet to settle in to come to understand exactly what the challenges are, because my mom says that it is he who wears the shoe that knows where it pinches. His predecessor, Mr. Mahmoud Yakubu, a professor himself, had done 10 years at the helms, and now he has taken a bow. The question is, what can he learn from the 10-year period during which Professor Mahmoud had served as the chairman of the commission? Well, I'm sure the man understands the assignments. He's very familiar with the work that has been called out for him, but again, Anambra is the litmus test.
Well, I think when it comes to INEC needs to understand that it is not a body that should operate, in isolation. They need to work with security agencies. When it comes to elections, we often hear of, ballot snatching. Right. What are they doing? It's not just about, bringing all the technology, to transmit results. I hope people will be able to come to that polling unit, vote, and leave without being hurt. I hope we will not hear things like ballot snatching. I hope we will not hear people coming to, destabilize the environment. Those are key issues that needs to be looked into, and not just, having the whole technology. Technology is important, like you have said, but they need to look beyond that to ensure that the process is actually smooth, because you cannot isolate that. You cannot isolate, just the process of putting all the technological devices together to give you a free and fair election without considering the security operations in that environment. So these are key issues that INEC needs to consider to ensure, or to assure us that this elections is going to be free and fair. We don't need to go to the courts, because if I am a candidate and at the end of the day, my people that came to vote for me are being disrupted, or
you find a reason to be aggrieved.
Exactly. By all means, I will still want to go to court, even if you come out to say the elections was free and fair, everybody voted, the elections was transmitted live, and then we had such chaos happening in polling units. It would still
challenge it in court.
Exactly, it would still be an unfair situation. So all of this needs to be considered when we talk about a free and fair elections.
So elections must be free, fair, transparent, and credible, and seen to be all of these, not just by, on the basis of the fact that INEC is saying it. It must be seen by the voting public, by Nigerians, that this has been free, fair, transparent, and credible. Well, let's take a break now. I want to bring you a bit of motivation with Ramsey Enoch Agbo. Behind that, it will be time to look at the papers for you. Do stay with us.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
What is your problem? What's your problem?
We're on the road to protest. And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Wow, it doesn't matter how slowly you are going, but then don't stop, keep moving. Welcome to Heart to Heart on Global Television. My name is Ramsey Enoch Agbo. How are you doing? How are you faring today? What's going on around you? I believe you are fine. I believe everyone is doing well. And I'm so excited that we can talk heart to heart today. You know, it takes a man who is actually serious with life to know that it doesn't matter how slowly you go, as long as you do not stop. And that's a quote coming from Confucius. Let me just inform you that we want to look at perseverance today. You know, when you talk about perseverance, a lot of people will think about so many things. When you talk about perseverance, some people will think of, when you talk about perseverance, you are referring to something that has to do with keep moving, endurance, and all of that. But then, let me just let you know that perseverance is the art of consistency in the face of obstacles. It's the act of you saying, well, I will continue the journey even when progress is slow. Results may be minimal. Results may not even be coming at all. But then you will say, well, I will keep going. Or motivation may be slow. Maybe no one is encouraging you because everyone in the family or in your office or in the community have already think that you can't amount to anything. Maybe because people are not seeing results, they talk down on you. People say so many things about you. But then perseverance helps us to keep moving even when the result is slow. Sometimes the results may not even be there at all. But it teaches us that success isn't always about speed or grand achievement. It doesn't matter who have gone ahead. Some people might be doing very well right now and you're feeling bad. But then, it doesn't matter how slow you are. When you keep doing it, you keep doing it, you keep doing it until you become an expert. And overtaking is allowed, as a matter of fact. So I just want you to know that success isn't always about the speed or the grand achievements, what you have accumulated. Sometimes it's simply about staying on course, all right, refusing to give up, irrespective of every pointer, everything happening, telling you to give up. Maybe some things are happening that you are supposed to give up, but then you persevere, you keep pushing, you keep pushing. I can make it. I can make it. I can make it. I can make it. That mindset, it just keeps ringing in you, you know, and every small step forward matters. Every small step. Like I said in one of our episodes, I was saying that if you can't fly, run. If you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl. But by all means, get that emotion. At all means, by all means, at all costs. Just make sure there is motion, because every small step forward matters a lot. And that is what Confucius is always saying. But then I also want you to know that wisdom speaks to the value of persistence over perfection. But a lot of people don't know that. Many people give up because they think they are not making enough progress. And that's why we don't have consistency anymore. You see someone run from one business, you are doing this business today, tomorrow you are into this one, you are doing this one today, next tomorrow you are into this one. Oh, my friend is flourishing in this business, let me get there. By the time you get there, the one you were mastering gradually, you left it to another one, you're starting afresh again, and you see yourself going backward. But then, whatever your hand finds to do, do it with the whole of your heart. It's your vision, it's your pursuit. You need to persevere on it. A lot of people think they are not making enough progress, but this quote reminds us that movement, no matter how small, is still progress. That's what it means. Over time, the tiny efforts compound into major breakthroughs. Those little things you're doing. Those little things you're doing, I don't know, but tiny efforts compounds into what we call major breakthrough. And those who persevere are often ones who reach the finish line. That's it. Those who persevere, they are the ones who reach the finish line. Do you know how many people get to school, gain admission the same day? Do you know how many people graduate? Do you know how many people go to NDA? How many people are able to go through the rigorous exercise? Those that persevere. Some of them, when their colleagues who dropped out see them, they say, you don't be major now. It is about perseverance. It's only people who persevere that always reach the finish line. A lot of people have started so many things in life, but they couldn't see the end. A lot of people want to prosper, but the little things, days of little beginning is being ignored. They despise days of little beginning. They don't know that little step that you keep taking, matters so much. I want to give an instance. Well, some of you may not be familiar with this, but when Noah built the ark, do you know that the fastest animal entered? Do you know that tortoise, no matter how slow it was moving, it also got into the ark? The difference is the time frame. So you need to persevere in whatever you're doing. Only people who persevere get to the finish line. You will get there if you don't break the rules of the game and you persevere. So you don't need to despise the days of your little beginning, because gradually as you're going, you keep knowing the rules of the game, the way that business works, the way that profession works. You keep growing in it. You keep growing in it gradually, until you get to the finish line where you become a professional. But some persons are not humble enough to persevere, to endure, to go through the process of making. For you to be a made man, there is a process. There is always a way to the end of everything. You can't just break protocols. You can't just go to school today and say, no, I don't want to go to secondary school. I just want to go straight to the university. No, it's not possible. No matter what, no matter how rigorous it is, no matter how time-consuming, you need to persevere, endure the hard times, because joy comes in the morning. After everything you've persevered, joy will come. So it's only people who persevere that gets to the finish line, not because they were the fastest, but because they never quit. Quitting is not an option. A lot of people quitted yesterday. Today they are regretting. You need to be very careful concerning decisions that you make, because the decisions you make today will determine where you will be tomorrow. You need to stay put no matter what, because quitters are never winners, and winners have never been quitters. They don't quit. If you want to win, if you want to be at the top of your game, if you want to succeed in life, you need to persevere, because there are mountains to climb. Sometimes you will think, well, this is a bend road, but you should also know that a bend road is not an end road. The road might be bent, but the road doesn't end there. So as it is, you need to try everything possible to persevere. Well, as I said, just keep pushing, perseverance. No matter how slow you are going, you will get to your destination. My name is Ramsey Enoch. We'll see you again in the next episode. Bye-bye for now.
Welcome back. Thank you very much for still being here with us. I hope that motivation really touched you and gives you, push for the day. Right now we'll go to the newspaper review segment, and we'll start with the first paper here, which is the New National Star, with the first story just below the nameplate. UTME JAMB clears 85 underage candidates for admission. And that detail is on page 19. Then I'm wondering, with the whole JAMB, and its age limit that it gets to set for students, is it necessary? Why do you limit students? I like the fact that they have cleared them. Mm-hmm. But I was speaking with my neighbor recently, and I have a son. He's 5 years old, right, and he is in primary 2, and he's coping well. And she was like, okay, when he gets to, the problem is not, him being in primary 2 right now. The problem is when he finishes school, will JAMB grant him admission? Like, okay, maybe I'm not even relying on JAMB or anything. But then, it's important to ask these questions. Why do you limit a child? I know that there needs to be maturity, right, before a child is exposed to the university environment. But sometimes, especially with private universities now that we have, that has security measures of checking students and keeping them well and all of that. Why do we get to limit students in this part of the world? You go to other parts of the world and you see young champs doing excellently, doing exploits. When it comes to Nigeria, we say, okay, you have to be a certain age. I know of a particular there's a particular school. I don't know. It's a special school. I think it's a tech school. It's a new initiative with Nigeria. Yes, Nigeria and the Chinese government. Yes, it's a tech school where students, they're exposed to technology and all of that. And then they say that for your child to be in a particular class, say primary 1, he has to be 6 years old. You get. So you have a child that is brilliant, that is tech savvy, and you want to take that child to that school, and they tell you, no, your child is too young.
Has to be 6 to get into primary 1. Get
into primary 1, and then you see parents, going to forge birth certificates of their children, having to, start, they now start lying, all of that, so that their children can gain access to such schools. And as you would have it, those schools are actually free. I've forgotten the name of the school. I think I'll give you but I still get to wonder, why do we limit, children in this part of the world because of age?
That's quite thought-provoking. But again, I'm thinking now, this is basically off the top of my head. Is it possible this is happening on account of the peculiarities associated with our own immediate environment, how we think, our perspective, our outlook? That's number one. Number two, do our regulatory frameworks align with today's reality? Right? If you say a child must be 6 before they get into primary 1, what are the metrics we're looking at, right? On what basis are we making such a decision or establishing such a threshold or a benchmark? It's very important. We must know why we do what we do. I think I'm not comfortable with people saying things like, this is how we've done it in the last 40 years, this is how we've done it in the last 50 years. The question is, why have we kept doing it like that? Even within the professional space. You have somebody telling you, in the 70s, this is how we did it. Oga, it is already 5+ decades down the line. We have had 2 generations and counting since that time. It's a no-brainer that things can't be that way again. Technology has changed everything. I'll give you an example real quick. I remember there was a time in this country where for you to check, just Google, for you to just know what is the capital of, for example, Switzerland, you would have to go to a cyber cafe. If you couldn't find anybody around you who was knowledgeable enough to know that, you'd have to. I remember one time, many years ago, this was as far back as I think 2001. Yes, 2001. I had to follow my young friends, we were also as young as I was, to a cyber cafe that was using an internet service provided by Nitel, the default Nitel, just to be able to know the price of, was it PS1 or so, I can't remember. It was that interesting, and it was fun. Just know that we're going there to prove ourselves right or prove ourselves wrong, things like, it was fun. But 24 years down the line, do I have to go to a cyber cafe to find out? But you see, that's the problem. Some of us have the kind of thinking that is cast in concrete. So we must keep doing that same thing. At a point, the only online interactive space you had was Yahoo Messenger. Later you had High Five. Later it was MySpace. And then today is Facebook. Nobody remembers MySpace. So we must ask ourselves, the way we do education in Nigeria today, the way we regulate, the way we administer, the way we monitor, the way we evaluate, do they align with international best practices?
Do they even align with our practices? Because
in the first instance,
I get to finish school, say after all these restrictions, say at the age of 23, and then I'm expected to have some years of experience before I get to 40. Do you understand? You want to apply for jobs, you don't have to be. You don't need to be less than. So they give you a limit. They give you a limit of age. So at the end of the day, it's not still realistic because you keep the students from moving forward, and when they're done, they are still restricted out there because
in the open market.
Exactly. So it's not even realistic with what we have here. Not talk of international standards. So these are the things that needs to.
So ultimately, we need to be careful not to be setting ourselves back.
Exactly. Well, let's go to the next story, which is Shaibu calls for probe of past sports ministers over networks of National Institute for Sports. That detail is on page 23. You want to react to that?
Well, incidentally, because you mentioned Shaibu, I mean, he is my former deputy governor, a man who I've come to love for the way he has driven sports, from a place of passion, love for sports, unapologetic love for sports, and all of that. But the question is, if we want to probe, at what point will it end? Will he still have time? Will he still have energy? Will he still have the focus to sit down and diligently do his job? I'm just curious. I know he's a man that has shown capacity over time with regards to sports and stuff. Even people who don't like him will admit that. Right Honorable Philip Shaibu is a sportsman. Up until recently, he was still playing for Bendon Insurance. I can't remember his jersey number, but that's how much he has come to love sports. At a point in Edo State, while he was deputy governor to former Governor Obaseki, he was fully in charge of sports, practically in charge of sports, and we saw what he did with sports. The economics of sports, the innovation, the creativity. He moved sports from 0 to 100. Let's just put it that way, right? So he has track record. You can't take it away from him. But in Nigeria, what we have seen is probes will become politicized. Probes will become more like you are shooting yourself in the foot. So let's just weigh our options and move ahead.
Let's move ahead, indeed. Let's move ahead right now to the next story, which is power outage. Businesses, households suffer as NDPHC begins Gero plant maintenance. I think I saw that on the internet, warning some axes in Abuja. They would experience a blackout.
Outage.
I don't know how long, but the information didn't seem to say how long. But let's hope that it doesn't last so long. Let's go to the big story here, which is PDP crisis deepens. Ibadan convention uncertain. There are three riders to that. The first one, party suspends screening of aspirants. Sulei Lamido denied nomination form, threatens court action. Finally, not consensus candidates to Raki submits form. That detail is on page 2. But then I'm wondering, why is this not given? I think everybody should be given a chance to, contest and win. Why do we have this? This is our candidate. It is not.
It's quite interesting, but the fact of the matter is that politics will be politics, politicians will be politicians. The fact of the matter is, we spent time talking about this on the desk yesterday when Ramsey anchored, hosting myself and Obon Osoro. One of the things we're going to find is that until we get it right within the sphere of political parties, Nigeria can move forward. It is what it is now, because it is the people produced across political parties that eventually emerge to provide leadership from top to bottom. All right, so in community science, they say it's garbage in, garbage out. So if you don't get it right at that level, it's just going to be hypocritical to come to the open space and say, look, we're going to turn water to wine and things like that, right? In this case, it's very clear. The North has already said our consensus candidate is Turaki SAN, right? That's our consensus candidate. But this other gentleman, former governor of Jigawa State, Sulei Lamido, says he wants to vie for the chairmanship. Ordinarily, one would say, well, it's a democratic process. Let as many contestants or contenders as possible throw their hats in the ring. But it's obvious that the PDP, as far as the North is concerned, only has one hat. So Mr. Lamido does not have space for his hat.
Well, wishing him all the best. Let's go to the next story.
All right.
Under pressure to join APC, says Mufwang. That detail is on page 7. Federal government manipulating food prices for political gains. That is coming from the ADC. Okay, whatever it is, let it just affect the people positively. Strike the kicker there, strike. Federal government owes 38 billion naira salary arrears to healthcare workers, and that's coming from the National Association of Resident Doctors. You find that detail on page 2. Hardship, hold your governors accountable. APC tells Nigerians. That detail is on page 3, and I think I'm interested in this story because Nigerians need to learn how to hold their governors, their local governments accountable because it doesn't rise and fall on the president, you know. Anambra Guba, stay clear of election. CP warns vigilante. That detail is on page 8. INEC chairman appoints former Punch editor Adebayo Oketola as chief press secretary. You find that detail on page 12. Congratulations to him. Rivers peace effort yielding results, and that is coming from Fubara, and that detail is on page 3. Read the details to get yourself informed, and let's go to the next paper, which is The Guardian. And have we
thank you, Priscilla. Incidentally, we're not going to be taking much papers today, obviously, for the sake of time, but top left corner of The Guardian now with a picture of former Senate President David Mark. It says, ADC accuses Tinubu's government of manipulating feed prices for political gains. NARD insists on November 1 strike, claims health workers owed 38 billion naira in 2 years. Oyembaji emerges APC's candidate for Ekiti Guba polls, and then the Star headline says, Nigerian international travelers to pay extra $11.05 charge per ticket from December 1. Those details await you on page 6 of today's issue of The Guardian newspaper. Bandits impose 15 million naira levy on Tambuwa's constituents, threatening fresh attacks. That's somewhere in Sokoto State. Another sad piece of news right there. New Afrexim Bank boss tasks African leaders on open borders trade. Then, as Punch normally does, you'd find some infographics on the front page of it, redirecting to the Nigerian international travelers to pay extra $11.05 charge per ticket from December 1. And then we have a headline with a picture of Nnamdi Kanu here. It says, Kanu refuses to enter the fence, claims no case against him. All right. Find those details on page 29. Before now, the man had said that he was going to invite a number of Nigerians split into 2 categories, but now he says he has no case to answer. Again, this this trial is stalled now because prosecution says and continues to insist that he needs to take the stand and open his defense. PDP in fresh crisis over chairmanship consensus deal ahead of convention. Let's take our last paper this morning. That's the Nigerian Tribune.
Okay, on the Nigerian Tribune, we have the very first story above the nameplate. 92-year-old BI re-elected President of Cameroon for the 8th term. There's a rider to that. 4 dead in opposition protests. That detail is on page 4. Well, it is a long one for Cameroon. Resident doctors issue 19 demands to avert indefinite strike. Says federal government owing health workers 38 billion naira allowance. And that detail is on page 4. Ekiti 2026. Oyebanji emerges APC governorship candidate. Promises not to disappoint citizens. Ekiti consensus templates should be adopted nationwide. And that's coming from Udodo. We find a detail on page 16. 2025 UTME, JAMB releases result of 85 underage candidate. We find a detail on page 17. Confusion rages in PDP ahead of convention. Party postpones planned screening of candidates indefinitely. Lamido threatens court action over inability to purchase forms. We haven't seen the forms. Anyanwu Bature says as Turaki submits his. You find the detail on page 15. Civil service chiefs meet review security strategies, and that detail is on page 3. Nnamdi Kanu dumps plan to enter defense, insists he has no case to answer.
Judge gives him 4 days to file a written address, and that detail is on page 4. 92-year-old Biya's 8th term will spark protests in Cameroon. Well, I think I saw that coming. That detail is on page 8. Tinubu Obasanjo lead dignitaries to honor late Christopher Kolade, and that detail is on page 8. Finally, we have Natasha broke panel code in attacks on a Pabio Bello. That's coming from the AGF, and you find a detail on page 9 of Nigerian Tribune. That is all we have there. Read up details to get yourself informed.
All right, so that's what we're leaving with the papers, everyone. I would like to also remind you that for every paper we bring to you here, they are just as published by their respective publishers. Global Television or the team here on Global Morning does not in any way contribute to the headlines or their details. Let's take a quick break. When we return, Ogorjiko Mobono will join the team to bring us up to speed as to what is trending across social media space.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
What is your problem? What's your problem?
We're on the road to protest. And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
What is your problem? What's your problem?
We're on the road to protest. And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
What's your problem? What's your problem?
We're on the road to protest. And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Good morning, the Global Morning crew, and good morning to you, my viewers. You know, this is time for Social Buzz here on Global Morning, and I'm your host, Ogochukwu Mobno. You know how we do it, bringing you trending issues from social media. And I must tell you that there's been one issue on ground that everyone has been talking about for the last couple of hours, and that's about the 92-year-old Paul Biya, who wins the re-election and extends 43 years of power grip. Cameroon's long-serving president, Paul Biya, has been re-elected for another 7-year term at the age of 92, extending his more than 4-decade rule. The country's Constitutional Council on October 27 declared Paul Biya the winner of the October 12 presidential election, securing 53.66% of the votes. His closest rival, Issa Chiroma, trade with 35.19%. Biya has been in power since 1982. I have a lot to say about this, and I have a lot of observations, but we are going to be doing it really, really quick. I'm not alone in the studio though, so we're going to be taking comments today before I introduce my guest or someone who's going to be helping me dissect this whole topic. So our first comment is coming from Laju Eche, and Laju says, the level of shamelessness across Africa is very alarming. The next comment is coming from Cheesy Chrissy, and Cheesy says, our votes don't count in Cameroon. If we voted for him, then why are all the youths fighting? This person must be a Cameroonian, obviously. The third, which is the last but not the least comment today, is coming from Ohana Prince, and he said, this goes a long way to tell us that Cameroon doesn't have qualified people to take over from this man for over 4 decades plus. Yes, Cameroon is way behind in development. Africa, now who do us? This last comment is a bit, I don't know, I find this a bit not comfortable with me. Why would you say they do not have people, qualified people to take over from this man? I really do not agree totally with this particular comment, but I'm here with Priscilla Obasi. Good morning, Priscilla.
Good morning, Ogochukwu.
So this whole Paul Biya thing, immediately the news came out yesterday, and we heard, even at first it was more like, oh, Chiroma went about, posted on his page and everywhere, and we heard it in the news that he actually, started saying that he won, the presidency election in Cameroon. And a lot of youth too, we saw things happening in Cameroon. On social media, there is an unrest right now in Cameroon. Youth are saying that they don't think that this person is who they voted for. They know what they did, but then the results are out, and this is it. A 93-year-old man going into power again to rule, a 92-year-old man, I beg your pardon, going into power to rule again for the next 7 years, making it 99. What do you think?
Well, I think at this rate, Biya should apply to Guinness World Record for the longest running president, because what do you call this? I mean, what do you call this? Are there no youth in that country? I think I foresee a protest. I see a protest coming as a result of these elections. Because how do you elect somebody that was president long before you were born? How? How do you do that? So this is, there's a comment there that talks about the shamelessness in Africa, and I really agree with that. We are so shameless. These men are so shameless. How do you think about it? I mean, give yourself another 7 years. That would be him being 99 years. I mean, this is really sad. So Cameroon youths need to come out and address this, because if they accept it, they are giving Africa a bad name. I don't want to say that, but because I mean, this is not supposed to be. This is not supposed to be.
But the results are out, and it shows that he actually won with over 53% of voters voting for him. So it's more like we love him. And if he had been ruling for over 43 years, that means there's a sort of love around him, because I do not know the reason why he wasn't taken out.
They came out to say that their elections did not count. We have seen some people that were said to have been killed, reacting to this election. That about 4 people, and that was seen on the newspaper review segment this morning on Global Television. I mean, it's not just about the fact that you want to be president. You are vehemently saying that you don't want transformation. You don't want a new voice. You don't want fresh air in that country, because even as a young person that is still growing, that is still emerging, staying in that space for that long, 8 years, you would have maxed out. You would not, it's important to have, and then we have to talk about the democracy of Cameroon. I don't know the kind of democracy they are operating in, but for me, this is not democracy. Why did they even come out to vote? There was no need to vote, if you ask me. If you will come out to vote, and I mean, they should just make it come away in a way that he just becomes the president till he dies.
Automatically.
Let him just be the president and just die, because what do you call this? Their votes obviously didn't count. There is no democracy. Their constitution needs to be sat, needs to be rethought, needs to be looked into. Whoever called themselves politically that's in that country needs to sit on that table and rethink whatever constitution that they have going for them in that country, because this is not democracy, if you ask me.
So thank you so much. So yesterday we were actually having all of these arguments with some persons, and somebody said, well, I don't have a problem with Paul Biya actually ruling Cameroon for another 8, 9, 10 years, for as long as he can rule the country. And the person put out a question saying, what if Paul Biya was your father or your uncle? Won't you support him?
Why would Paul Biya make me, that he's his nephew or niece, take over from him? Why should I keep supporting an elderly man, a 92 years old man?
What if he has all the capacity? He knows what
he's not a good leader. If he has not trained a son to take over him at this age, whoever has him as a father, I mean, we saw his daughter coming out to say, his daughter came out to say that nobody should elect her father.
She doesn't support.
So is it that he doesn't want? He has not raised leaders as sons. At this point, he should, push his son forward and say, I have trained you well. I have given you. I have empowered you. Go and take over from me. You shouldn't have your son be leading. You shouldn't be in that position of leading your son till you pass. I mean, you are 92 years old. Give this man another 7 years, he'll be 99.
Probably a mommy.
I mean,
anyways, what can we say over here in Nigeria? We can only but wish Cameroonians and Cameroon, enjoy your rule by Paul Biya. We hope that he brings in development. He has been doing that over 40 years plus. So we hope that this one that he wants to rule for the next 7 years is going to be a different thing. It's going to change. Honestly, it's going to change. So we are rooting for you. Go, Paul Biya. Go.
This is a loss for Africa, if you ask me.
Thank you so much, Priscilla, for your contribution. I hope you were part of it. But if you weren't, please use the social media handles you're seeing right here on your screen and be part of the conversation. Drop your thoughts. They are highly needed. Go to YouTube and click on that button. Be part of the conversation here on Global Morning today. Well, this is where I'll be closing the curtain today for Social Buzz on Global Morning. Please remain with us as Global Morning continues.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
What is your problem? What's your problem?
We're on the road to protest. And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
What is your problem? What's your problem?
We're on the road to protest. And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
What is your problem? What's your problem?
We're on the road to protest. And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
All right, welcome back to Global Morning. I bet you didn't know that there is something coming, say, early next year, 2026, early next year, and that is the FCT Area Council election. So this morning, we want to talk about grassroots governance, where governance actually meets the people. But the question is, are our youth prepared, informed, and actively involved? We're talking about FCT Area Council polls, and we're talking about awakening youth performance in grassroots governance and development. And joining me to unpack this conversation is the youth leader, AMAC APC. We'll be exploring what role young people can play and must play, not just as voters, but as visionaries, as participants in local government elections. Welcome to Global Morning, Mr. Robert Achbede. You're welcome, sir.
Good morning. Good morning, Nigerians. Good morning, my youth constituency. Thank you for having me on the show this morning.
Yes, you're very much welcome, sir. So let us start with the basics. Now, local governments are meant to be the closest tier of government to the people. But for many Nigerians, especially young people, it often feels like a distance or even somewhat invisible. Now, why do you think local government elections attract less attention and participation compared to national elections?
Thank you. Just like you said, is the closest share of government to the people. And if democracy is about the people and government for the people, we hope that tier of government should work. But what we see in Nigeria today is an intentional institutional grab by some elements. I wouldn't say cabal because it's institutional. They are known and they can be taken care of constitutionally, institutionally. That refuse that particular tier of government not to work. But we are rest assured that the government, the reign and the regime of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, His Excellency, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, is doing something in that light. And within the short possible time, is going to enumerate some actions or use the same institution of judiciary and a legal instrument available to make sure that the tier of government works. Because that is the tier of government that concerns the masses, a tier of government that concerns even we, the youth, the more. And it must work for the benefit of Nigeria. And what we've seen this last in the last decade in our democracy is that either of the presidents that have been elected have tried his best in the area of instituting some legal framework and amending the Local Government Autonomy Act to make sure that that particular tier of government works. But I hope with what is attainable now, with the renewal agenda, to work using the FCT area councils as litmus test to what will come and what is about to happen. I won't say the tsunami, but FCT is always used as reference to illustrate how a local government should be run. And should be run judiciously, legislatively, and having seen that it's implementing the sustainable development that will reach the people. Thank you.
Okay, by the way, I forgot to comment your outfit. I think you look more like a reverend.
Thank you, Miska.
Well, you look good, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, so, okay, so far, how has the FCT Area Council elections been coming so far? What What has been going on? What is the progress? Where are we at? And where are we going?
Just the Renew Hope agenda, I could say, is majorly felt in FCT and among the youth.
Okay.
Than any other state of the federation.
Well, I think that's a personal
revelation. No, it's not personal. It's not personal. Because, like I said, the executive haven't been executive and National Assembly haven't been the one administrating most the legal framework that set up the FCT.
Okay.
They've allowed, they gave the governors free hand. No, not the governors to say, the Air Council chairman.
Okay.
Free hand to actually detect how their FAC is spent, how their salary is paid, how salaries are paid, and how projects are implemented. So for that alone, that's what I said. If not FCT, I don't think there's any other local government, any other Air Council, what you call local government in some states, that is functional as it is now in Nigeria. FCT, we have been experiencing dividend of democracy to the maximum. I wouldn't say that things are not working here. Things are working here. And the president, vis-a-vis all his policies, is trickling down to the people of FCT.
Well,
and we are feeling the impact of his governance and his Renew Hope agenda in FCT the more than in other states. So I want to urge the governors of other states to do same in their local government, because if you see, it's not the president in some of his outing and meetings with the governor, he always told as if it's a job playing with the governor and say, please, people should go and water the ground. People are suffering. He knows that they need to do more because they are giving more now. There are more money now. I haven't removed the subsidy. The first subsidy. There are more money now. There are more allocations now that are going down to the states. But we are feeling, and it's not even. We are seeing that most of the states are not implementing projects that hopes to be empowering the youth, or even improving the living standard of the people. And that is why it's always emphasizing on the fact that each time is with the governors, either at the governors forum level, you tell them that please, that you try and do more, so that what is going to the states can be seen as the ripple effect can be felt within the masses and the people. That is what is not happening in the state level. But we in FCT, we are privileged, we are opportune that democracy works here. They say democracy is for the people, by the people, and for the people. So we are here and we are feeling it. Democracy is here. And that is why I am always urging every clan or every family, every tribe represented in FCT here to actually mobilize and galvanize their people to get involved more in politics, because FCT is always used as a litmus test. Even when INEC is making references to their elections, how we ought to be in local government level, they're always making references to FCT elections. So government is here, and we are feeling it here. And with the kind of leadership that we have in our local governments, our other councils in FCT, the chairmen are more aware, are more involved, and are more in line with the people's agenda, and they are doing that and implementing it to the letter.
Okay, let's talk about the upcoming polls. I think that is slated for next year, right? How do you perceive the readiness among young people for your district's upcoming polls?
Yeah, how to this electioneering period or campaign have started. What we see among the young people, among the youth in the city, is that, understand, the processes that brought each and every one of the candidate of the parties seems to be fair enough among the youth and the young women. And the only part that there was no balance is the gender equality. We advocate that there should be more women, women involved in the politics, but we didn't see that happen. But my party, the APC, in their wisdom, have tried their best possible to make sure that women involvement in politics is seamless and reduced to even them not even paying for the nomination forms in the first place. So, but we are not seeing women coming more, participating more in trying to attain the offices for a leadership role, because they are the ones that decide the fate of every candidate at the polls mostly. If you take the votes of the women and the youth, pari passu, they always give the numbers and detect who becomes who leads or win an election. But we don't see them getting more involved. But if it's for the youth, they are alert and they are more aware now, and we are readily involved now. And with the circumstances that are surrounding our judicial system, we are hoping that the government of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu would do his best to try not to allow our judicial system not to be politicized by the ways of when parties are having disputes and they approach the court. They should make dispensing justice in that area should be a bit fair, so that it will renew and rebuild the hopes of the young people. Because we are beginning to see that the only time that we can actually get things done is during the process. Understand? Now with the youth now are lacking more in the judicial processes. How pre-election matters are handled. I want to take an example from what is happening in Buhari Area Council, where two candidates, where two aspirants are still in court trying to sort it out. Who is the right candidate of the All Progressive Congress? These are things that we don't want to be seeing in our democracy anymore. If there's a process of giving somebody legitimacy at the candidate of the party, let it stand. Let not be any infraction that will now dim the hope that the youth seems to be having in our democracy. So I urge the institutions to stop being politicized, so that this hope that we are renewing and we are rebuilding, we attain its final meaning and gives more reign to democracy.
Are you coming out for any position?
No. No. I would have been. I tried to avail myself for the position, but descending voices and wisdom said I should allow the most credible. I wouldn't say most credible I would say most credible as at now. I'm performing chairman of the Abuja Municipal Council, the person of Honorable Christopher Zaka Makelegu, to continue his reign and his development stride in Abuja Municipal Council. That was why some of us shielded our ambition. I said, okay, let's rally around him and see him achieve more in empowering the people and driving the dividend democracy to the grassroots.
Okay, so can you put out any specific ways youth can meaningfully contribute, whether as voters, as aspirants, or as advocates to the local, especially women that you said we have not really seen in the forefront? What are those ways they can come out, aside voting and maybe contesting? And then if they are to come out to contest, what are the processes?
So there is a debate going on now, even around our party, and there is the party constitutional amendment committee are sitting. It is the same issue both of is what is being discussed. How we can encourage more people to get involved in the process. It's far beyond just getting involved in the process. What should have been is that how do we let people trust in the process that emerge the candidates? Because when the trust is built in people, the tendency of them getting more involved will be more visible and more attainable. But you can't be in a situation where nomination form that ought to cost nothing will be sold for as much as 5 million, 10 million. How do we get? That means they are monetizing our politics. So the aspect of the area of the monetizing nomination and appeal on interest form, it should be what should be taken, to be thought of and taken seriously among our political parties, because if this aspect of the politics is being politicized, no, it's being monetized to the extent that even when a good leader cannot afford the nomination process to become a candidate, they will lose hope and do not trust the process that emerge, whoever leader that emerge from that kind of platform. So we are urging them on. The debate is on. Our party has done that because I think the APC constitution is only the APC party constitution is only constitution that accommodates people with disability as part of the executive, from world to national level. Understand? Then APC constitution are the one that insists that before you attain the office of the youth leader, or you must be a woman to be a woman leader. Because we have seen a situation where in some states where women leaders were men.
Really?
Yes.
How is that possible?
It's possible, sir. It's possible. We've seen that. States from I won't mention, but states in the northwest. And we've seen a situation where even the youth leaders of the party were over 60 years. Understand? But it's still this awakening among the youth that it said that if the word youth is a word and is defined and limited with age and numerics, but you can't just say because you are an old man, you are young at heart, you are a youth, can be a youth leader. No. It's far beyond that. If you are an infant, you are an infant. If you are a woman, you are a woman. If you are a man, you are a man. If you are a youth, you are a youth. So these are things that ought to be taken seriously, because these are things that build hope. How can it's absurd for me to imagine a man being a woman leader of a political party, and this is because of our beliefs. Because in some climes, women don't seem to be participating in other politics. Maybe by virtue of their religious beliefs or their doctrines. That's why you see men taking place of the offices in that. But thank God for enlightenment and awakening, and people are more aware now. And most parties are now insisting that if you must attend those offices, if it has to be a woman in that office, you must be a woman. It must be a woman. If you want to be a youth, you must be a youth. A youth a youth as seen, or a youth as known, a youth as confirmed. Not that you be an old man of 60 years and coming to struggle with us. What the democracy has done to us is that it has given all the parties, giving individuals reason not to say they are not part of decision making. You can be a decision maker either by being voted for or to vote for someone. That way you can make a decision and contribute to our democracy. So what we're not saying is that let's it be seen that it's working for the youth and the women. Let it be seen that it's working for the masses, not an institutional grab of offices that is being seen and people are now assuming it's happening, because we see a situation where if somebody attend the office of the governor, before he knows, he's not showing either of his family member or his son or his daughter to come and take over the office or to continue from where he stops. These things are institutional, are intentional. It's not good for our democracy. If the former governors or the former office holders insisted that you will not attend that office, how did you emerge and become the leader in the first place? So we are hoping that the Nigerians should, our elites in politics, if you have a mind change, a thoughtful mind, and a mind change of having way of grabbing those positions, or creating vacuum that is not what you ought to be. Let's it be seen as liberal and as open to all and sundry.
All right, let's talk about the challenges that comes with participation and also, yes, even in the forefront, being, part of the candidates and being part of the voters. What are the challenges that comes with, this? I'm talking about from financial barriers to political godfatherism and even the lack of trust in the system. What are these peculiar challenges that you can point out, and what is the way forward?
What we have seen in the last few elections is voters' apathy, and that is what the electoral empire ought to work on. Because what actually triggers voter apathy more is when people don't trust in the process. If you look at the shambles that happened in subsequent election, when the Beavers was implemented and was passed in the Electoral Act, they used it in the Osun elections. We got results, commensurate results that can say that, okay, this thing is working and to work for us. And that is the reason why people were reawakened and came out to vote in the last presidential election. But what do we see? It could be some elite or some clique of people. They've now insisted that this process must not work. And those kind of things are what is creating a voter apathy. How can I go to vote, knowing that I could check my vote or check the result of my vote even a week or 2 days after, only for me to be shot at the point that say, okay, server is not working, server was shut down. These are the things that are discouraging people from getting involved in politics. Understand? So the electoral empire need to do more, so that the level of voter apathy will reduce. Let people trust in the process, that if we go to vote, our vote will count. And that's why we are telling the electoral empire, understand? They politicize. If I want to watch the new ANEC chairman, Professor George Amopotan, for actually saying that those issues that were known or that seen that is not making, that's creating this apathy and not making election to count, that is going to address those facts and see how we can reduce it to bare minimum. That is what the Nigerian state or the masses need. Let's be able to say, okay, we can change the leadership of this country by the ballot, not by unruly behavior or saying coup or agitation or protest. So that's why that is the major thing that could happen to us now that will make our political process a bit more seen as working for the people.
Okay, let's look ahead beyond the elections, and let's look what governance requires. Governance usually requires consistency, requires accountability and vision. Now, what mindset do you think young aspirants must develop to make lasting difference if they get elected?
You know, I will say that the politics now is now a knowledge-driven politics. Okay. You need to be in line and in touch with the opponents of now. You can't do politics the way it's been done 2 decades ago. Things have changed. The children we have now is not children of our own generation. Their reasoning and their thoughts is different. And if we don't politicize, if we don't politic in that aspect, we may find it difficult to attain the full potential of our democracy. So I will urge the institution to take that line, because democracy is meant to work for all, and it has come to stay. This is our nascent democracy. We must hold it dear to us, and we must make it work. So I want us, being in knowledge-driven politics, let's be more educated, let's be more open to learn and relearn, to skill and reskill, so that our democracy will work for us all. So doing it in that way, going religiously now, it says, Bible said, the sons of the Issachar, these are here now. So we need to learn the skill, and let the politics be driven by knowledge of knowing the needs and the agitations of our immediate community or our immediate constituency.
Okay, so what policies or reforms would you like to see strengthen local government autonomy and empower youth in administration?
The economic policy of the present regime or the present government seems to be working.
Okay.
Seems to be working, because I can see that the prices of foodstuff is now.
ADC has come out to say
that
is not true. That is political.
It's not political. It's not political. You could go to a neighbor market now and check it out for ourselves. Understand this? They are in opposition, so is their word against the ruling party. So that is what they are meant to be and what they are meant to.
But have we seen common Nigerians come out to say, food stuff? Have we really seen any come out to say that?
Yes, they're saying that.
Is it just the APC?
They're saying that, and deeply inside of you, I know Priska seated with me here. I know you can tell me that the prices of the rice you got.
We just saw that
the
price of rice, just rice, and we have not really. I have not gotten rice in the last 1 week, but I saw that the price of rice dropped in the last 2 days. I don't know if it's up to a week though, but what I'm saying is we've not seen the common Nigerian come out there to say, oh, things are better, right? The price of food has actually gone down. Because if you go to the bush markets, the local markets, we actually see that things have actually come down. But when these things are transported back into town, somehow the prices are still inflated. So the problem has to do with maybe the regulatory bodies that helps to regulate these prices are not doing their job, or indeed the prices have not really gone down. So it is either of the two.
As the problem of Nigerian democracy is not even the leadership.
Okay.
The followership too has a big role to play, because he just experimented what an average Nigerian thinks and behave. Because
seeing is believing.
You've said that a few days ago. Yeah,
we heard.
Okay.
It's actually a hearsay.
Okay.
I've not really gone to the market to.
Maybe I will have to come to the studio with market price indices and come and experiment it as at what it attains a month or 2 months ago.
Well,
so
if that is the
focusing, the government is trying its best to stabilize price of food item.
Okay.
So now, as they are doing that too, they are focusing on stabilizing and build trust in our democracy. So we, the Nigerians too, let's appreciate the effort, even if it's little. Like I said, the opposition are the opposition. Because they must do anything, they must say everything to discredit the ruling government so they can attain office. They have to grab power. I wouldn't call them mercenaries for political purpose or agendas.
Well, I don't think it's about the opposition right now. It's about the common man.
So, the same market the common man goes to, like you just said now. Please, I didn't know as an economist, but just experimenting a simple analogy how market price, market forces moves our economy. You said if you go to the bush market, who are those in the bush market? The common man.
Yes.
Who are those that go to the bush market and buy and bring to the town and see sell above the?
So it is that what I'm saying is that
it's not the common man.
Can also help in worsening the price of things in the market or making it better. So if we don't have all of these bodies come together, if we don't have the government, the current government, regulate these things and make these laws stand, put set laws that would favor every single Nigerian. If you're going to buy things from the market, if you're going to sell it, this is the price cap we should have. All of these things are the practicalities of democracy. These are the things that would benefit the common man out there. Because if you tell me that there is rice in the market for 2,000 naira and I am buying it on my street for 4,000 naira, I would never believe that price of rice is 2,000 naira. So it's a holistic approach, not just a one-sided thing. That's just what I'm saying.
No, what's the Renew Hope agenda or Mr. President is doing and implementing and trying to implement now using the pricing or other colleague? Is it price for something commission?
Yes,
PPC something to implement that now, is that they want to now have a price board policy.
Okay. That
every week it will be and I'm urging the national orientation too to dive in that direction to enlighten Nigeria the more. So that Nigerians will be informed that this was happening. Okay. So that every week, either weekly or daily, there will be price board of various food items.
Interesting.
Exactly, in the market.
Interesting.
And it's happening now.
Where?
Logically, but it's not being implemented.
Yes.
Like what is done. What is driving this food prices down? Is the reserve that the government reserves, what they have in assets, was pushed into the market.
Okay.
And now eliminated the influence of the middlemen.
Okay. Okay.
Just like you said, I said the problem of Nigeria
is the middleman.
Yeah. I wish that the follower. The problem of leadership is the followers.
Yes.
So we are our problems.
Yes.
So what they did was that they released those food banks in the reserves to the market and crash the prices. So it now eliminated the fact that I have 100 million in my account. I will go to a Egusi market in Enugu. I will buy a Egusi 10 bag and hide. After 3 months, I will sell it for 500k per bag. Those elements have not been eliminated from the market. Okay. So if you are putting your money into food stock market now, the market forces will decide your fate. Either you lose or you gain. Okay. So now that's true. So the government now is now using that policy now to drive the prices of the food stock. I'm saying that the problem of our democracy or of our hunger, of our hardship is the followership.
Well, when we call it leadership, like I said, it is a holistic approach. You cannot just do one side, because at the end of the day, there are people that sabotage in the system that would want to sabotage your efforts. So it is your duty to make sure that whatever policies you are bringing, it is benefiting and it will still trickle down to that common man out there that are trying to benefit. Else, you see sabotage in the middle or in the way that would want to ruin your efforts. At the end of the day, if you do not end up, if you are not able to, eliminate those set of persons that you have just described right now, nobody will believe your government. So it is your duty to carry out do your due diligence to the latter, so that whatever implementation, whatever good policy you're trying to put into the system would be beneficial to that common man there. He can come out to testify because indeed he will benefit from it. But away from that, what message, let's go back to the conversation, what message would you give to that young Nigerian ahead of the upcoming elections? What message would you pass to the youth out there, the common man, the common woman, as the Abuja Council elections is forthcoming?
As it's been seen all around the area councils in the FCT, our chairmen have performed incredibly well, and the ones that are coming back for the second term, I don't think there's even any opposition around to even stand the chance of taking them out or taking them down during in the next coming election. I want to use my own local government, the Amak as an example. My chairman, Honorable Zaka Mekelegu, has performed incredibly well, up to the extent that even the opposition political parties, the DGs and the candidates of the parties now are not decamping to join the Progressive. I was thinking the campaign and governors joining the APC for national level is just a mere jamboree coming to the power, to the center. No, we are seeing it even happening in the local. We are seeing it even happening in the local in our local palace.
Is it not a quest for power?
No, it's not a quest
to belong to the ruling
party. It's not a quest for
power.
power. If there is genuineness in people when they see a leader that has the people at heart. So that quest for power thing becomes secondary. Remember, the primary purpose now is who can lead this pack and deliver and unite and drive the development of democracy to our communities and to our world. And we have seen most of the chairmen of the editorial councils doing that, the light, and that is making what is attainable in the national too, attainable in the local government. Because we are seeing the campaigns from all political parties coming to join the All Progressive Party, All Progressive Congress. And I'm seeing our party attending going for an election and attending a result that have never been seen in the history of FCT Council poll. Let's forget about the opposition politicians, the opposition and their antics. You can't be telling me that the prices of fuel is 990. At the time I took over, it was 180, 190. But you should tell me that even before democracy too, there were the prices of fuel too was around 18 or 17 naira. So I don't use the situation. This is of value chain or a policy that owes to ameliorate and make life easy and livable for the person of the poor, as a yardstick for you to politicize. What is happening in the private sector is the regulation, and with more refinery coming on board, this price will come down. Just like we are seeing in the food stock market, in the food and in the food stock value chain. It's going to happen too in the petroleum sector. All we need is a patient and pray and support this government to implement these policies to the letter. And like I always said, I wouldn't want a situation where our judiciary will be politicized. Because if somebody is found wanting, or have been adjourned, have been alleged wanting, either by rogues or by crook, let the court judge the person and person be fined amicably. That way, it will build trust in our people. Because, like you just said, the middlemen are the ones what the government putting in place to get them off the value chain. It's something that the government cannot wake up and do itself.
Why can't they wake up and do it themselves?
The only way they can do it now, is this technically bringing in food storage and get more food into the market and controlling the price. And that is how they lost out in their own personal or individual business agenda. And the government, and we're seeing it trickling down to our market, and people are now seeing it as working, and as prices of food coming down. So that's the only way the government can come in, because the government, Nigeria economy is the government run economic system, such a way that is the government that pays, the government that executes, and everybody is involved in the government business. Yeah. If that does not happen, we cannot. The government too getting involved in the market pricing or the price button will not get that result. And we're seeing that happening now. I want to appreciate the effort of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He's doing well, and you keep on doing well. And we're going to support him till 2031.
Okay. All right. I hope that these elections will not be a thing of, it will not be about party, but about individuals, that have the heart for the people, because that is what grassroots governance should be about. People that can represent the people. I hope we don't see party politics playing in these elections.
No, party politics, as we look forward to the APC Congress coming, I think in less than 2 months now, we should have our Congress. And just like the DP too, they're having their own Congress too. You can't take that from a democracy. These parties are very good that form leadership. So if they can put their house together, just like we APC has put in our house together, because I can see that the only political party working in Nigeria now, as at now, is the All Progressive Congress. Any other in the opposition, their house is in comatose.
Well, that is relative. And I think it's on that note. Let's have your final words before we wrap up the show. My final
word for the youth and for the constituency I represent is that as we look forward to February 21st, 2021 election, FCT Council, let's come out and support the candidates of all Progressive Congress, so that what is happening in the center will come down to the grassroots. Honorable Chris Mekelewu is doing well, and is to win, and is to be returned as elected. And we are hoping that is achievable, and is coming to continue on his good works and empowering the youth and getting development strides to the grassroots and to all and sundry in FCT.
Well, again, it is about who can do the job. And on this note, we will draw the curtains. Thank you so much, Mr. Robert, for joining us on Global Morning today. It's been an insightful conversation with you. And we talked about youth performance, we talked about governance, and the future of our grassroots democracy. Now, as the FCT local council elections draw near, it's not just about who wins, I would say. It's about who can lead. It's about who will serve. And it's about who will show up for their community. And Nigeria's development truly begins as the grassroots. I've been your host, Priscilla Obasi, on the segment, and Global Morning will be wrapping up in a bit just after this break. Please stay with us.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're
on the road to protest. And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
All right, welcome back. The conversation, continues around the government, Abuja,
and then youth participation
and youth
in the political
participation,
process.
yeah.
I think that conversation is going to be here for almost forever, really. But then politics just has several dimensions to it. We're still talking about politics. The African Democratic Congress, the ADC, is now saying that President Bola Tinubu's government is manipulating food prices just to give Nigerians the impression that things are getting better, the economy is looking up, and things like that. I mean, you are a woman, you go to the markets. Would you say things have changed for the better?
Well, I think the whole situation has a lot to do with the middlemen.
Right.
If you go to the village markets, the bush markets, you see things, the price of food actually has come down. But the price of it being transported back so there's some middlemen there inflating the prices and making sure that they gain, their gains are...
So they are more like the nexus between the farmers on the ground and consumers, more or less?
Exactly. And then before it goes from those markets to, say, even the cities, to the urban areas, you see that the price has gone even double. So I think there needs to be some regulatory body to check on these prices in the marketplace. There needs to be a regulation on prices on whatever goods, not just food stuff, but everything in this country. Yeah.
Very interesting. But the ADC now has jumped on it to say, look, whatever the government under President Bola Tinubu is telling you, it's just a facade. It's not true.
It's holistic. It's a holistic process. You cannot say we have dropped the price of food in the market. Then
they were done.
Yes, we're done. No. You have to make sure that it trickles down to the man on that street, that goes to buy food from one woman selling there. Else, you've not done your job. Because you can only say, if you say, I have done the price of food has gone down, and every Nigerian has not attested to that. And they are attesting to that based on their experiences, based on how much they get to buy food. So you need to make sure, put whatever measure you need to put in to make sure that it affects every single person, at least the majority.
Right. When I look at it, what it tells me is that the conversation around food never ends, even the US till tomorrow. I saw a post a couple of weeks ago by a Nigerian who moved to the US not too long ago. The guy said one of the first things he found out once he touched down there was that
fruits are so cheap, generally speaking, especially in the state where he lives, that they are almost free fruits. In fact, he said if you're not disciplined enough, you probably just want to be living your life on fruits, forgetting that there are other kinds of food, things like that. But we can't say the same thing here. I had joked with a colleague a while ago about how that sometimes I just have, in fact, most times I have the tendency to say, I want to stay away from conventional foods, stay with fruits and water for like 90 days straight, personal challenge kind of thing. And then we laugh about the fact that it's going to cost you a lot, especially if you want to consume like very high volume of fruits within that 90-day period. But what it tells us again is the fact that in a system where food shortage has not been conquered, it just shows that you have far more work on your hands to do than you even readily realize, because people have to eat to do other things. Of course, people have to eat fundamentally to stay alive, eat to go out and vote. We're talking about elections now, Anambra, Ekiti, Osho, and the rest. We're talking about 2027 ultimately too. But people must eat to be able to think. They must have their heads in the right place, all right, to be able to do other things. People must eat to move around. And people must now spend less on food. You don't want to have a system where households have to, they are compelled, all right, to spend the bulk of their earnings on food. As we say in pidgin parlance, not be only food will they spend money on. So money goes everywhere else. Goes to tuition payment, goes to rent, what else? Goes to energy, goes to several other very essential aspects of our lives. So we must cut down on food. What gives us concern most times is that we've seen the government under the leadership of President Bola Tinubu issue at least 2 different notices about state of emergency being declared on food security and things like that. How much those efforts have paid off, we really can't tell. However, what Nigerians want to see is that when you want to measure a government, including this particular one, the current government in Nigeria, I think the starting point for most citizens will be affordability of food items and essentials, and every other thing will be secondary.
Yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. When food is cheap, I think Nigerians would be better. Before even touches transportation. Transportation is another sector. That needs to be looked into. But at least let's start from somewhere. Food is life.
Food is life, right? So people don't just earn salary at the end of the month. All they can boast of doing with it is eat and then cover their cost of commuting from work. All right, and then you don't have to add to that cost of rent. Of course, nobody needs to tell you how it works in Abuja. If you think Lagos is high, then there's a higher authority. All right, let's take a break, everyone. When we return, there's a piece of heart-wrenching news from Gombe State, which was part of our news broadcast this morning. We'll talk about that and the dynamics around it. Do stay with us. Do stay with us. So if you followed our news yesterday at dinner time, and again, we had a repeat of that same story this morning, you would have learned of a very sad story from Gombe State in Nafada local government area, where there had been yet another boat mishap in this country, this one in particular. Yet another boat mishap in this country, this one in particular, and sadly so, taking the lives of 5 otherwise promising teenage girls. And that has been basis for not just concern, but mourning across our state. The governor himself, Inuwa Yahaya, through his chief press secretary, has also sent his condolences to the families who have lost their loved ones in this unfortunate and, who knows, otherwise preventable accident. Incidentally, this is not the first of this sort of nasty occurrence, but the question is, are we making effort to ensure it becomes the last? Are we working towards cutting down the chances of recurrence? Those are the questions we must answer. We have very promising sea, or if you like, marine economy. Nigeria is blessed with a large body of water, but what exactly are we doing with it? And how are we doing that exactly? How are the waterways regulated? We have the Nigerian Inland Waterways Authority, the NIWA, all right? What exactly is their mandate, and how does ensuring safety standards and compliance on our waterways fit into that whole gamut of their mandatory framework? Is very important, because at the end of the day, even though we know the water is there, it's not just for every Tom, Dick, and Harry to jump in with a boat and then you're trying, you're shuttling people across the water. Who regulates how people bring a boat on the water is very important. Lagos State has shown excellence in that regard. We've seen government after government in Lagos State continue to raise the bar in terms of waterways, regulation and all that. They are not only commercializing that potential, that natural blessing of nature, they are also trying to make sense of it by ensuring that people don't have to lose their lives just because we want to expand our transportation options.
Absolutely. I think the whole boat accident has been ongoing in Nigeria.
Right.
We saw at some point, I think some years ago, I don't know how long, maybe 2 years, where a popular actor capsized into the water and lost his life. And these
River Niger access.
So like you have said, like you've rightly mentioned, we need to have the federal government assess or regulate whatever it is. Just make sure that the right approaches are being taken when it comes to water transportation. It's a very sensitive one.
Right.
It's not something that's, how to ensure that life jackets are mandatory. Because some people feel like, I'm a fish. I can.
I'm a fish indeed.
I'm a fish. I will not get down. But you cannot be overly careful. You need to put in all the measures.
Right.
We need to be overly careful. We need to just do what we need to do to make sure that these things do not reoccur. Imagine losing loved ones, losing lives to something that can be prevented.
Right.
It is not a good one.
Painful.
Very painful. So what needs to be done needs to be done. That's what I have to say.
Quite a sad occurrence, no doubt about it. But we'll continue to monitor this situation, draw government's attention across board to it, and then, of course, enlighten members of the public as well.
Yeah.
Just like Priscilla said, the fact that you've been swimming for 25 years does not immune you to misadventure.
Yeah.
All right, so we have to be careful. And for those who bring boats, especially for commercial purposes on our waters, let's also know that there are rules of engagement. It's not an all-commerce affair.
Yeah.
So the fact that Priscilla and we can put money together and construct or fabricate a boat is not a basis for them to start shuttling people across water. All right,
you need to have some kind of license, just like we have a driver's license. Before you drive a boat, before you use a boat, you need to have a license. All of those measures need to be put in place to make sure that these things do not occur again. Because some people just feel like if they're in the water, or the riverine areas, they are in charge. You get they are above any authority.
Nothing can go wrong.
Nothing can go wrong. You get, but these are things that we shouldn't be hearing in today's world. Because when it comes to water, I think Nigeria, the government generally, we are kind of slack when it has to do with anything water. That's why we get to see floods happen over and over again.
And then we're all reactive.
We're all reactive. When it happens, we're all reactive. You get. Before the rainy, now the rain is coming the rainy season is coming to a close. This is the right time to start thinking, to start talking about whatever preventive measures we would take to ensure that these things do not happen again. That's it.
Well, quite an interesting thing to talk about, but we hope we do not lose any more lives to this sort of thing. Who knows? They say there's nothing you want to do today that someone else somewhere has not accomplished already. Maybe we can borrow the Lagos State model. Maybe we can understudy their own modus operandi, all right? Replicate across other subnationals, other states to better operate on the waterways. It's a blessing that we have a lot of water in this country.
Yeah.
But again, what we do with it and how we do just that, it's as important as how we are maximizing that opportunity. Well, thank you so much, time will allow us on Global Morning today. We appreciate you for the time you always invest with us here 7 days of the week. But we also like to remind you that all of the views of our guests across all of our programs, including here on Global Morning, are their opinions. I'm Uyi